And let's remember, relationships are not just eros as in the romantic kinds. There's also family, there's friends, there's workplace situations. Yes, so any kind of relationship. How do you deal with a toxic one? Can you be in a toxic relationship and not know? Have you heard of stories? Ama hii town squeeze toxic ni normal. Please let us know. Hashtag is Y in the morning. Now, before we get to getting, let my lovely panelists introduce themselves. Good morning. Sasa leo tumekuwa kwa maji moto. Tunaanza tu kuongea from here. Let's start with you. What's your name?
It's okay. My name is Jane Dongo.
Okay.
I'm a student at Mount Kenya University.
Okay. Jane, what do you study?
Business management.
Business management. Okay. Do you intend to become an entrepreneur ama unasoma tu do graduate tuseme nilisoma?
Tunasoma jiwazazi.
Okay. All right. Okay. And you are?
My name is Ruth Mora.
Okay.
I am a nurse.
When in Mkisi?
Yes.
Hey!
Cases in the house.
Yes, Jay patana Mkisi anakaa kama wewe. Rehema mko wapi na Rael? Ama ni nitulie tu.
Nakuwa mmetustigmatize sana huko nje.
Ni nyinyi mnakaanga venye mnataka. Sisi tulisema but anyway, wacha tusikasirisha Wakisi asubuhi.
Tafadhali.
Yes, all right. So Ruth and Jane. Well, let me start with you, Ruth.
Yeah.
What do you think is a toxic relationship? What's toxic?
Toxic is something that doesn't feel like right with you, right with your brain, right with your heart, and everything that I go. And as you know, there are different forms of toxicity. There can be emotional toxicity. There can be also like somebody can also be toxic to you like physically. So there are different ways in which somebody can act toxic to you. Yeah.
Okay, so I've understood. What do you think, Jane? How is the exam, by the way? This is this conversation. Just assume we're a couple of girlies hanging out and we're talking about this. Ule guys, the guy who did like this, like that. I'm a couple of tuafike. Remember at Y254 on Facebook, Y254 channel on X. Hashtag is Y in the morning. Nataka ni wasome to comments kidogo before I come to you, Jane. See just how. Hiyo time tu nataka simu ifunguke ndio ifanyike inafaa kufanya. But give me one moment please. Hapo tumepiga at least picha mpya ya mimi na Grace. Admit it's you I'm talking to. All right, so we have here Marcus, tuanze na Monray. Aya, kumbuka swali ni toxic. Alafu I don't know why admin is shouting at ladies, but je wanawake wanaweza deal aje na toxic relationships before zikuwe na madhara. Remember, it's not just one-ended situation. Even men can be in toxic relations. They can be on the receiving end of toxicity, okay? Monray says wakupendwa na kupendana wacha wapendane, lakini hii uchumi ya nani mimi siwezi penda mtu. Monray represented kutoka Nairobi Kware. Marcus Bazenga says locked in Mugudha, good morning. Julius Murega says good morning, tuned in from Nyeri town. We have Queenie Empress ni Cynthia kutoka Kiambu, napenda nyinyi sana. Nakupenda pia sana Queenie Empress. Abu Jesh Kenya says from Aldama Ravine ako inside. Mkarabati Guiji wa Kayole says Ndakas. Brandy says Eldoret locked inside. Both of you, thank you so very much. I will let Grasha know. Yvonne Kim says good morning. Hiyo swali naweza sema akiona ni kubad atembeze asingoje kuchinjwa. Wow. Hiya, Jane, let me know how you first feel. What do you think the definition of toxicity is in a relationship?
So toxic to me first need loud voice.
Pendi kushotiwa. When baby girl,
yeah.
You're just but a girl.
Just a girl. Just a girl na mtu anakushotia, anakucontrol. Maybe akikuuliza uko wapi, you see either anaku video call ama lazima utume live location.
Wow.
I feel like that controlling aspect, we can also put it as a toxic relationship. Okay. And also where did you express? Maybe today I want to go to, like maybe in campus, because I'm in campus. Wanapata maybe leo tuko na class, but my boyfriend is like, you come over instead of going to class. So my friends start noticing sijaingia class leo. Kesho pia sijaingia because the nigga wants me to be at his place. So for me, that's how I can explain toxic relationship as how I've met with it.
Okay. Yeah. If you were her classmate, not even friend first, if you were a classmate and umeona mlipatana kwa njia mkienda class lakini ndani ya class humuoni, would you ask her cordially, please, where did you go?
Yeah, if she's like, you know, first it matters with how close you are with the person.
Okay.
Yeah, so the closeness ndio itakulead ndio kamuulize hiyo swali, because you can't just go kwa mtu yote uweze kumuuliza na ulikuwa wapi leo. Yeah, so if you're close, I'll really dig deep in, and then you know it has to be something that is gradual. Si mara moja kumiss class, it has to be something that is gradual.
This week amemiss moja, last week alimiss ingine kidogo kidogo, ameshakuwa mgonjwa for some reason, hata kunyeshi si ati kuna baridi, but she's not just present.
Yeah.
And I did not I wanted to at least push this kapat into the future a bit of this conversation, but isolation pia, you'd find there are some people who have been forced to cut themselves out of their friend circles, of their families, because you're sick. Again, it's not just about females being on the receiving end. Sasa mwanaume mpata, he used to hang out with his boys, say anapigiwa simu ati uko wapi, tuna watch game. Uwezi watch game kwa nyumba. You cannot watch the game from home. Babe, you know, ukiwatch na watu, which is very true. Ukiwatch na game na watu, it's very different. Hapana, mimi ndio mtu. Hata yeye mwenyewe hana interest hata kabisa, but anataka tu bora. Na si ati anakuongelesha, anataka tu ukae. Is that also toxic?
That's very toxic.
Kind of toxic.
What if you just want time? Sasa, again, me and Grace, na leo kama nitasema again mara mingi, me and Grace, or Grace and I, we were trying to figure out the signs and symptoms of toxic relationships. So you find you're creating very many excuses. So kama ni hivyo ati unaambiwa utume live location, so mimi nikiulizwa na Ruth, mimi nitasema, he just cares about me, my man.
Yeah.
He wants me to be safe.
You know the funny thing about staying in a toxic relationship, you the person who's going through it, it's hard for you to see the red flags. Like you're going to be so cool, like, yeah, my man is doing this because he loves me. But then your friends out there, they're the ones who are saying it. They're like, Ruth, whatever you're doing, huyo mwanaume achana na yeye haraka.
You see normal.
You see normal, but you're like, you know, he just craves the deep connection to stay with me and stuff. And you're like, yeah.
So one of the, I'm a meme lord by profession. Yeah, I'm part-time meme lord. So there's this meme nishai come across, and it was entertaining at the time, but now when you come to understand some things, people are not joking wanasema ukweli. Ati asiponipiga leo hajanipenda vizuri. Like yeye hawezi lala kabla amerushiwa. Maana hiyo pia mimi mingine ili compliment ati I can control his temper, amempiga ngumi 4. I can control his temper, but sawa uko na dent, una dent, unaanza tu story, I fell in the bathroom, sijui Abi came and hit it, alafu ikakojolea, alafu sijui form. So how do you talk
intervene, unaambiwa, unasikia watu akisema hiyo ni kwao ni foreplay.
Wow.
Yeah. So you want to intervene, you want to fight for someone, kwao ni foreplay, they're like, ni kama ndo
mapenzi ndio inaanza kushika vizuri.
Because utaenda uwatoanishe, mwambie leave that nigga alone the next minute. Akishapigiwa simu msichana,
the girl is back.
Ni ngoma ya Ben Soul alikuwa anauliza kwake kumebo. Kwa neighbor kuna kung fu. So
yeah,
kung fu yao ilikuwa
kung fu yao ni
haya. Hey Ben Soul, ungetuambia bana, mimi nilishika meaning nyingine tofauti. You would have just explained. Okay, this is alafu pia when you come kuna ako kanoshon Alvan Love, good morning first. Uko na homa na pole upone haraka. Mimi hata ndio niko njia ya kupona. Alitupostia video fulani and this, you know, he's not a serious person. So alitumia, nilikuwa na ngoja jokes, but he was actually quite serious. Alisema alisikia sijui nduru kama 2 in the area where he was at the time, sijui kama ni mali anaishi sai. And then ali make sure he put in on the WhatsApp group, akaongelesha hadi security people and all these things. And then he came to online space and said, najua tunasema vitu shida za watu ni zao. Kwanza watu wawili wanashare kitanda, sijui pillow, we don't interrupt. But he actually intervened in what would have been a very problematic situation. Ni kama watu walienda wakatumia Kenya walikuwa wanatumia zika nice, wakuja wakaanza kudisagree. So in that midst of kafafo, something would have happened had he not intervened. Would you intervene?
Yes, I would, but also bearing in mind if this person chooses to still stay and remain, Sasa hapo unajua itabidi tu umejiondoa cause utaanza kuambia ndio fake friend, unajua walikuwa wananiambia you are a bad person. So I feel like a situation like that, as much as you intervene, you try help her see the things yeye haoni, but in mind you also keep that high chances atarudi. So situation hizo zinakuwa tricky kwanza in campus.
Hizi situations ziko mingi campus.
Yeah, because utapata there's some toxicity maybe with these two people. It's very evident. You try advise her, she will call you for advice. You know, he said sorry. Sasa nakwambia bora alisema pole. Mimi nimerudi. Mtukao yote utasaidiaje?
Na hiyo pole inakuanga pole. When someone has started to say, "Hey, I love you," unapelekwa sijui wapi, unaamshwa na breakfast in bed wenye wanakulanga KDF na chai. I'll never repeat. Na violence wa haianzi immediately. It's very small violence. Unanishautia leo, kesho unanisukuma kidogo, kesho yake unakuja unagonga ukuta next to me nishtuke. Hey, before we know it, ni kung fu ya ukweli, and I am not okay. So, would you intervene?
First of all, you can just go and help someone who doesn't want to be helped. Like, it has to come from the person's heart. Like, you know what, really, I want to do this. I want to leave maybe this guy alone, or I want to leave this lady alone. Because as you have said, like, toxicity is both way. Like, either a lady or a man can experience it. So it has to come from the person's heart. Aseme, I feel like I also need to do this. Kwa sababu utamongelesha leo, mwambie don't stay with that person, umonyeshe the cons of this person, but the person will still go back to their girlfriend or boyfriend or their husband, like that. And as I've said, like, it's something that develops like pole pole, hautaona. Then, you know, like with these people, inafika mahali, atakuja leo akupige, kesho akuje akuongelesha vizuri, akununulie maybe gifts, ama they take you out for date, ama lunch, ama they bring you something that they know you like. So ni kama anakurudisha to the honeymoon phase. So you're going to start at the first step tena. Wewe uone ni kama it is just fine. Then it will continue to be a cycle. It will be a cycle all the time. So mtakuwa mnenda tu round and round. And if the person doesn't like kujiokoa kutoka hapo mapema, at the end itaenda kumpatia even like, you know, stress pia itakuja na like kama hizo mental issues. And then kutakuwa kama na tapata hizo anxiety. Then kuna vile atakuwa like clocked into this person. Mwambia, you can do without me. So it is ni mimi kutoka kuinje utapatana na nani tena.
Kwanza hata venye then you start being sura mbaya, hata sijui unakaje, hata in fact hii kazi yako kidogo pesa then you find someone who has more money than you. Alafu hata hii pesa yako kidogo inaweza fanya nini Nairobi shwali? Unaenda wapi? Okay. Now we've talked about almost 3 things there. Let me pick from lifestyle. Would you stay if mfuko wako sawa, analisha watoto, ananispoil, a few months after this tunaenda tu my man tuende ni wapi, wachana na Dubai, ni wapi mnataka kuenda? Acha nikuulize, where do you want to go? Maldives. You, where do you want to go?
Maldives, Seychelles, Mauritius.
Utu to beach.
Yeah.
Haya, wenye mnataka kwenda Russia pia kwa baridi. The people who want to go these places and ski, sijui muone Hollywood, utu to stars hapo. Wherever you want to go, that is a non-issue. Mnajua by your birthday ama kwanza woo! Yeye ndio anakupost mbaya. Unaona venye jokes, okay, I'm not saying this is what's happening, but unaona tu venye jokes ametusumbua, hatujapumua na ni harusi na sijui wako na ingine and we are on the 4th wedding already. Wameingia ndani ya keki you know he has the capacity to do all these things.
Yeah, true.
Utenda ungoje upendwe na mtu. Anakuambia 50-50. Hawambia, babe, let's start together. Let's start from scratch together. Badala kupiga, huko tu sawa.
You know, the problem is you look at my situation. Let's maybe put a situation. My background, maybe I'm the first boy. I'm a girl. Kwetu hatuko sawa. So hakuna do. I meet this guy, he has money.
Kwanza unajaribu kurudi kwa mamaka na kuambia unaenda wapi?
Exactly.
Wewe ndio tegemeo.
Ndio tegemeo. Maybe anapeleka shopping once a month home. He's getting me everything. So it becomes tough to live such kind of relationship. Alafu ukisema wende uanze zero, unaona sasa maybe ulikuwa unamtumikia because somebody who has money is like if he doesn't want you to go to work wezi enda.
Ndakuweka.
Yeah, you do as per what he says. So tena kutoka kwanza zero ukipiga hiyo mahesabu kwa like another 2 blows ngumi yako 2 3 utavumilia zingine.
Sitakufa.
Oh,
hivyo ndio unajiambia okay.
Exactly. So maybe I think female empowerment maybe could be something that could solve that. Having the girls maybe depend on themselves so that kitu kile kihappen ako like niko na doza zangu inaanza tafute bed sitter mimi nianze maisha tena. Yeah.
See now I'll ask you the same question but I'll twist it like kuna nasikia sasa kumtaja naweza shikwa na vehemence at any time. But kuna mtu alikuwa amenominatiwa juzi in charge of something. And na akivetiwa alienda kusema venye wasichana wanapenda pesa. That is why we're experiencing or we're seeing such a high rise in cases of femicide. There was an athlete, I think towards the end of last year or the year before, ametoka tu kuwin mamita zake vizuri sana Olympics sijui nini, akakuja kwa nyumba akaenda church na mtoto wake, akarudi akachomwa na boyfriend akakufa juu ya 80 degrees burns. Haya, mwingine ni wangapi first hata nafanya nikasirike za how many there was a time we were counting at least 1 case per month. One documented case. Yani umetoa nguvu na ukakuja ukatuambia by the way this is happening to me. Na mtu si ati ni master whether hakuwa nakosa pesa, wacha tuiseme hivyo. So imagine a leader standing somewhere and saying ati wasichana mnapenda, na yeye mwenyewe ni msichana, akuje aseme wasichana tunapenda pesa, that is why this is happening to us. But my school of thought or my question would be, even if I want, watu wa Nakuru mnauza nini? Kidneys. Hata kama nataka kidney yako, where are you getting the strength to do something like that? Something unfathomable. Ebu nisaideni kufikiria because I'm vexed. I don't know. Ama wewe feel kama mimi. Ebu tell me how you're feeling, Ruth.
I'm really getting you. Like what you're saying. First of all, in that I think it was the minister.
Madam.
Let us leave it there. Yeah, I feel like that was very bad because I feel at this point, ladies out here, empowerment iko. Hata kama haijafika the level that we want it to reach, we're still working towards it. It is there. Yeah, so we can just do ni kuongelesha like the ladies waendelee kufika hapo, but you know we cannot be enemies of our own, and we already have enemies who are fighting us. Like we just have to be there for each other. Then we have to love each other as ladies. We fight for ourselves. Like ukiona mwenzako ni kama anaenda chini, jaribu kamtoe hapo. Just talk to them. Hata kama ataenda arudi tena, just give them that listening ear. Because sometimes you don't know what is taking them back there, and maybe you can give them like other options. Maybe they seek maybe a therapist's help. Kitu kama hiyo, kama wewe mwenyewe unaona hauwezi. Then I also feel like people should try and have like you know, there's respect and there's self-respect. Like respect that comes from within.
Shout it.
Yani ujipende ile mwenyewe, unaona ile mtu akikufanyia madharau, unakaa unajiuliza, mimi Ruth, can I really like do this? Like learn to close doors to things that you feel are going to hurt you mapema. Yeah, I think there's a post I was watching the other day. I don't know whether it's right to mention the person, by Rono. Rono was saying you should learn to like say goodbye, like to things that you don't want them to be in your life, like mapema. Yeah, like unasema hapana, mimi kama Ruth sitaki. Ukiona hizo signs of toxicity, unajirespect, unajambia doors closed, bye bye, boy, you can do this to me. My
What's
mental health
important.
That's something.
Yes.
But what about we have the conversation? Are men taught how to live with empowered women? Because women of today, they know how to speak up.
That's important.
They know how to say no. They know, because some of the cases is out of rejection, like the one we had in MMU. Unapata maybe even the parents' girl knew that this girl kuna kijana hapo shule anamsumbua. But yo sasa msichana hataki kijana. So how is this man dealing with rejection? And are men taught handle women who have their own money, who know how to say no, who know how to speak up? Do you think it's something that have been taught?
I want her to answer. See how she'll expound her answer, then we jump on it. Huh?
Okay.
How are you feeling about it?
I actually feel like parents should try and teach their sons like how to live with other people, because they're also other people's children, and the person your partner who you're staying with also is also another person's child. So you just learn how to live with your partner, and you also know like how to accommodate them like despite their flaws. But kuna mahali itafika hiyo flaws hapana. Yeah, like just say
wameishi kuambiwa ati msichana ako na pesa atakukalia,
hawezi
kusikiza.
Kwanza akuwa amesoma alafu ako na pesa zaidi.
They feel intimidated. Actually
and
most
like they
men
don't know how
feel
to deal with it. They don't know how to go about a woman who is so well spoken, she has her money. Ni kama inawa irritate.
They feel
like the athlete. Si athlete alirudi na mamilioni. Sasa shida yao bwana inaweza kuwa ni gani? Maybe alishindwa kudeal na msichana. She's way better than me.
Kitambo nilikuwa nakuitisha fare, sahi hata naweza kubaya gari. Okay.
So I think it's a conversation that we need the people who are in male leadership positions, or people who can mentor the male, waonyeshe the benefit of having an empowered woman in the house. Maybe bibi akiwa kazi, kuna some things that are going to be easier for you as a man. But maybe it's something that has not yet tapped into the society of how empowered women can be handled by men.
We need to be handled.
Yeah.
With care.
Wangapi say, how many independent women are single? Wengi sana.
But pia kunako kakitu nishaisikia ati sasa msichana akona pesa hana bahati hata yeye pata bwana. Who told you?
Exactly.
Who told you?
So it's better for you to ingia kwa society vizuri. Bado itakuwa like the men hawaja adapt bado. So I think that's also another thing.
You said well, can I say something?
Yes.
I also believe that you see most of these problems that you're facing about toxicity, it all starts from childhood. You see,
remove the thought from my brain and said it out loud. Continue.
Yeah, it all results from childhood. There are many children like out there, there are different parenting styles in each and every household. So the way a child is raised, maybe let's say the parents are absent or something, they are going to become like avoidant when they grow old. They're not going to know how to deal with the issues. Like ni ule mtu utakuwa unaenda unamwambia, why did you do this to me? Instead of the person coming akuje, you have like a common, like mketi chini pamoja, you settle the issue together. The person doesn't want that. He's going to like draw away na aende. Ama ukute maybe mtu amereziwa in a household yenye the parents are there but they are not there. So mzazi akikuja jioni ako like, oh, today my father or my mother was happy with me, so what am I going to do to keep up with this happiness? Like I need to keep feeding from this. So unapata mtu like maybe the person develops like an anxious maybe attachment style. So mtu ako hapo akikuwa na the partner ako like, why haven't you done this for me? Why are you doing this and this to me? Then maybe tuseme ajikute ako maybe with an avoidant partner, inakuwa a constant push and pull like between them, and toxicity revolves from there. So I'll also say that toxicity also starts within each and every person. Like, so you if you know this is my problem, you're supposed to deal with it first before you welcome someone else into your life, because I feel like it will not be fair for you kukaribisha mtu kwa maisha yako kamtese. So just learn how to deal like with your problems. Wewe kwanza jembe, mimi kama Ruth niko na hii shida na mimi sitaki kutesa mtu.
But pia utayuka peke yako. Si mko hapa mkisema sasa ni weather for two. Wewe enda ubai duvet na ukunywe chai ama uji moto ati weather for two. Hey, yes, so that's one of the things we also, okay, now you've said, let me build up so I can come to you. Yes, you have the aspect of childhood trauma, and childhood trauma is something that we do not talk about enough. Because watoto nilikuwa naambiwa as an analogy, where it's like this, and then you put glue, and then you throw anything at a child, it sticks. So by the time you understand that something, when you were 5 years old, someone shouted at you, ama someone hit you as a result of this, in your later years of life, no matter how old you are, by the way, ukichunguza sana unakutanga tu, hey, it's because when I was 12 this happened, or this happened when I was 5. A memory that you might have even blocked all by yourself. Ukikaa tu hivi, and that's why I think therapy is very useful, guys. Najua si ni watu weusi na we're still not having that culture for kwenda therapy, but wenda to therapy.
But you made me ask, we say like children this, children that, and kama generation inaitwa Gen Alpha, ama the ones who are trending some weeks a week ago, the kina Tamara. I think they're the ones who are jalelewa na viboko, slippers, na nini. But what have they turned into?
Actually, that's alpha.
So, tutasema heri kiboko ikiwa ile tough times, like yenye wazazi wetu walilelewa, ikawaingiza uoga, ama it's better then again, you're loving them too much, letting things slide. Alafu sahi, the things that they are doing, you're like, okay, walipewa hiyo free will, alafu now they are...
Ebu let's tutatue hiyo kwanza. Alafu tufikirie pia bado, there's an age that kuna mimi nilisema there's an age you reach, you are the background, wache kusema
wacha kusema
kwetu sijui nini kwetu wewe ndio sasa
wewe ndio shida
background please jitatue. So spoil the rod, spoil the child. Ama tuende tuambie please go stand in a corner and think about what you've done. I know someone who has never been single in her entire life. Akianza tu kwa teenager ku understand boyfriend nini, hajawahi kuwa single. So that means akiachana na Jose, tuseme Jose, sorry Jose. Tukianza na Jose, aona anataka kuachana na Jose, ashaanza kitu na Mike. So hiyo ni sasa transition, ana transition from Jose to Mike. Hajawahi and she's in her, acha nisiseme sana, but hajawahi kuwa single. So what time does this person have to think about what do I need, what do I want? Alafu unaona mtu kama huyo ataitwa wife material. Sasa ashaanza to wife habits in a girlfriend situation. Hao ndio watu wa kupika chapo. kupika chapo malenge carrot. So we are also celebrating unnecessary things. Why am I washing your clothes for you? Why are we living together yet you have not taken any measures to be accountable? Hatujenda hujui watu wa kwenu, mimi sijui watu wa we know nothing. Tumesema tu hii nini shamba mawe shamba Nairobi Kanairo tu ndo tumepatana and we've said we go. You don't want accountability. So how can it, and I'm not saying those things don't work, but the higher chances are
the probability
kutakuwa hesabu. The higher chances there's something that will go wrong. And when it does go wrong, sawa, who are we going to help? Tunaenda kusikiza nani? Na atakuja tupe advice. Najua mlisema usini advice. But nani atasoti kitu? Ni ukweli niliingia nikiimba hiyo song leo asubuhi. I think it was for such a time as this. In fact, kuna msanii juzi ameniconfessia. He's very upset with he had a girlfriend. His girlfriend was raised by his grandmother. So his mom, the girl's mom recently came back into the picture na alikata uchali. So he's very annoyed with the girl. Akasema in fact my next relationship itakuwa tu si wawili. Hivyo tu ndo utanifungia kwa nyumba and no one will ever know because I cut myself off. Hey, your thoughts? Kwanza tujibu swali yake. Alpha and spoiling the rod, spoiling the child. Should we still chuna and talk to them, or one or the other goes?
I feel like mali tumefika na maisha saizi, things have evolved. Like at this point you don't have to keep on like beating that child. Taka tunasema spare the rod, spoil the child. There are other better ways you can deal with. Kama mtoto akikosea, maybe talk to them, tell them why have you done that, like kuna vile unaweza mongelesha until your mtoto ana feel enyewe mommy said I did something that is very wrong. Like you don't have to kuchapa mtoto hivyo kila wakati. Unajua kuna wakati itafika hata yeye mwenyewe ataona this is something normal, hata kwa anasikia hata hiyo kiboko. So I feel like there are also other better parenting ways zinaweza tumika.
How are you feeling about your own question? Yes, but if you had to respond.
So it's okay, but I feel like the fact that these kids are being exposed so much, we can already predict how they are kind of relationships they're going to be having, and they seem to be already toxic. Kwenye tu wako kama na watoto wa shule wanafanya mambo kama hizo, it's already at a toxic. So it goes then again to mzazi.
For those of our
ako
viewers
wapi.
who do not know what you're talking about in terms of the trend, can you explain to us simply what happened or what
Tamara,
you saw?
also it was these high school students who went to a house party and they were indulging in sexual activities, and they're just taking videos and posting them online. And there was this conversation online, and somebody said like they have a 13-year-old who also like took the video, posted, and asked anybody who wants this.
Wow.
So we're like, okay, wait, watu waone ile ka uoga, si tulikuwa nayo.
The fear of
if
the
the
Lord.
mother just
Hey. Hadi waleo,
Yeah.
hadi waleo baridi na kuanga
Exactly.
yangu.
Yeah.
So I think parenting is also a thing, but again, we can't blame the parents a lot, because if they are working, they have to provide bread. Ajui mtoto wako wapi, ajui anafanya nini. And then again, coming down to family, we can say the parents can be loving to a point that if I'm being abused by a man, if I just make one phone call at home, na kujua na kijiji mzima, toka huko, come home.
Takes a village.
I don't care if you have to start over, come home. But others don't have that family support system. So everything, I think, is just a balance of this and that, because hii dunia venye evolve, there are some things that are getting out of hand and we can't just help it.
Okay. Wanakimbiza syllabus vibaya tena sana.
Haraka sana.
I was reading there was a paper I was writing about addiction and inaitwaje, vitu kama psychosis zinaitwa something disorder, nimesahau. Anyway, the relation between substance use abuse and dependency. That's where you find abuse ni mtu utapata you get into trouble with the law, unapata unruly, umefanya nini, unashikwa, unalala ndani one day, ushatoka. That's abuse. Dependency ni unaamka lazima utumie hii dawa kwanza ndio function. Then now you start calling them street functioning something. Then at the end, because psychology likes having solutions also, inasema in times of in a school of thought, inasema it's a disease like any other, yes, but ni kama kuna, it's like the three ninis of the mind, the id, ego, super ego, zinapigana hapo ndani. So the dawa yake ni community. Yes, kuna watu lazima waende rehab. It's all the withdrawal symptoms apparently are wow, the chemical reactions and all these things. That was fascinating to me. But the cure, quote unquote, ni community. When you're in a community, you're accountable. Kama ulikuwa una feel sad and your sense of relief ilikuwa kutumia kitu, now it will undo itself. Do you think we can get somewhere like that? First of all, let's talk about how men don't even talk about this kind of toxicity. If we created a safe space for men, kukuja kusema, by the way, leo nimelimwa my guys, mama amenifanya ile kitu. Mbona kuna time tu CCTV video tulikuwa tunatembea sana, you see a man literally defending himself na pillow, mama amekuwa set it, sorry for using that particular song, but hiyo ndio mama ilikuwa inacheza kwa video. Unakumbuka video? Shikwa kidogo, so by the time husband is coming, she's ready for, it's about to go down. And the guy is legit akisema, please wacha kufanya hivi, as in if it was me doing the same to you kungekuwa aje, na hataki kusikia. So I think she just burned herself out. Eventually either mwanaume alitoka, but it ended, he did not retaliate. But if wanaume wangekuja tu waseme, guys, najua mimi ndo wakusema, kwanza if it's your boss, sasa guys, najua mimi ndo wakusema huko, na me in fact I sign your checks, but my wife is giving me stress. Do you think because it's not normal?
Yeah.
Could it be possible that one day we'd have a safe space for men to talk about these things?
I actually feel, okay, first of all, let me start by saying about the community. I think that you said about the community. You know, community starts with you and me. Community starts with your family. It starts with your friends, your people who are close to you. So if maybe let's say I'm hurt, who's the first person that I'm going to run to? Am I going to tell my parents? Am I going to tell my sister, my brothers? Or am I going to talk to my friends? So I feel like we should also try and like if it's me, I'm going to go and talk maybe to my friends. I tell them, unajua nani vile alinifanyia hivi, by the way leo siko sawa. Like I have someone who I can talk to. but lazima kweni mtu trustable definitely. Asiende kusema sema stories zangu kuinje.
Umesikia huyo kwanza na pointing na mdomo. Umesikia Kenya ilifanyikia huyo?
Huyo aliachwa.
Anajifanya hapa ati wanashikana mikono. Mtaachana tu.
Hakuna kitu yenye iko hapo. Yeah. Then to the question nimeuliza about men going through it. I feel like we should create a safe space for them, and we should encourage boys, sasa tuachane na men, like from a young age wakikuwa boys, tell them it is safe for you to talk about your emotions. Don't feel bad, even if you have to cry. Boys do cry. You just cry and say, hapa by the way, siko sawa. Like, sile, una mtoto akikuwa mdogo, alafu vile mama, maybe baba anamwambia, unalia nini? Wanaume waliangi, rudisha machozi ndani, kitu kama hiyo. Like, you should just encourage them, like, from a young age. They know how to speak about the emotions. Unasema, I am going through this and this and this. Yeah, so adi, and then kifika kwa relationship, sometimes listen to your man. Unakwambia, kona hii shida na hii shida. Alafu pia akikwambia don't go and use that nini shida against him. The second time, because ukitumia against him, he's not going to come and confide in you again. Atajambia nikimwambia tu hata time yenye amekasirika atakwambia na sasa ile siku ulifanya hivi, ulisema hivi na hivi. So like you should just try and stay calm. Hata kama itakuumaje, and you're like, yeah, it's fine.
I like that you have acknowledged sometimes we have a weakness of yapping. Sometimes umekazirika unataka kuongea kutoke, sometimes you must just enda utembee, piga lap, kimbia, energy kutoke, ndio sasa urudi calmly and gracefully handle the situation.
Allow me add on that, kindly.
I like this.
So first of all, since the start of this femicide campaign period, like we have had like a group, A Healed Man Does Not Kill. It's one that is coming up that men are creating a space where they're going to talk to their fellow men. And also, sijui TikTok umona, it's Gadet Fellow Worship, a fellow worship of men. Sijui kama umona is a fellow worship on TikTok. They're doing some Kikuyu songs. So I think men are stepping up on that, and we are seeing it through social media, and we encourage also the mentors. It's hard to mentor nini watoto wakiwa campus. Campus hiyo ukiweka event ati it's a mental health event, mentorship, 70 people will come, na shule kuna 5,000 people. So ianzie wapi? High school. High school unajua unaweka ndani ya hall, wapende wasipende. Ni msikize ndo muende lunch. Ndo msikize ndo muingie nta. But here in campus it's a bit tricky because at mental health hatuendi. Like for my school they have to offer nini sodas, those small sodas ndo watu wakuje. So unaona watakuja wakichukua soda. Yeah, so I just wanted to add that it's something that's coming up and it's happening.
Okay. You want to say something?
Yeah, I'd like to say something. Well, you know, I work in a hospital setup, so sometimes what you're saying, it's very, very true. Utakuta mwanamume anakuja na amekapitia yenyewe until you mwenyewe you poke in, ndio utajua mwanamume ako na shida, hayuko sawa. Yeah, like enyewe mtu anapitia sana kwake. Kwanza ukikaa maybe kuna unit inaitwa gender based violence unit. If you stay there, the stories that you're going to hear, sometimes they're very devastating. And you're like, what can you do? That is where also the community comes in. Like you should all go out there and help these people
also,
out.
To add, for me, like I was working in an NGO that was paused for a minute, and we were recruiting girls. So tukiwa recruit, unasikia my husband ataki mambo ya empowerment, so we were like, okay, we want to empower the girl child, but have we talked to the men and told them, you know what, if she comes here, it's okay. So unasikia mwanaume ndo anakata uko like.
So it's not only the boy child or rika yetu same, that's a problem. So if I was maybe 15, 16 and you're empowering me, it's not just my counterpart who should know how to deal with me. Ni hata mwanaume ako mbele yangu asikuja aseme mtoto ako na kierere na you suddenly want to start slapping me everywhere. Why are you talking back to me? What is the issue? So just all men should be just.
They need a lot of mentorship hata kutuliko.
Sana African men.
African men.
Because we have empowered the ladies, and the ladies who have been able to make it at the top with their husbands still on their side, very few. So we believe problem iko kwa men, and tukienda ku empower women tunaongezea men hapo. Acha mama aende kazi, acha mama afanye hii. Because I saw UN is also introducing a care program where a woman anaweza amka kama alikuwa anafaa kwenda maybe to study a skill, she can go, all the care work she was to do. Unapata mama ameamka, amefua, ameosha, amefanya, imefika saa 7, she can't go to a school and study a skill or even to study how to crochet. So I think it's a program that is coming up, and we are glad that we are going to be able to work. The men don't see it as competition, but it's inclusion. They don't see women as a competition, but once they include the women, the society becomes an easier place to live in, and a better community.
There's a point Truth alikuwa amesema sometimes gentlemen can be intimidated by a very strong-willed woman. First we start with strong-willed, and then you add all the rest, education, alafu by mistake akuwe na resources za kutumia in terms of time, money, etc., etc. And when people fear something, they have either they run away from it or they hate it and they want to bring it down. Ushaikatiwa na mwanaume anataka kuambia wewe ni kuna hadi meme. My middle self almost disappointed my own self. Kuna hii meme unapita, kuna kwanga na kabarabara fulani ya watu wanaume tu, na wanakwanga tu wanaume wamekaa kwa umejua kukanjia, upite hapo usalimiwe, na hata hiyo sister madam ukatae, hata uwezi by the way, hata umechapa, hata sijui mbona unaringa hivyo sana, shida yako hebu kwanza hata ona venye umevaa so there's just a way. Kuna mtu anaweza anakukatia lakini anakuambia okay, you look nice but you can do better. Saa hiyo ukimwambia akubaie tu kenye umevaa na pesa tu yake, atakimbia mbio. I don't know what the problem is, but I
think also social media has contributed, because kuna a lot of information we get from TikTok. Ati kama ana pesa siko, you know, and people like Shira, I keep on mentioning so women are taking this advice from Shira. She says she gives financial advice, lakini unachukua hiyo advice unapeleka kwa relationship yako. To a man who is 25 years old, na alisema advice anapatia watu wenye wana date 45-year-old men and above.
Now wengine wanapewa advice na kibe.
Kibe naye anasema hivyo, So I think also social media and the content we consume is contributing a lot to toxicity.
Tulikuwa tunaambiwa tukiwa shule, garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
There's something I was reading yesterday.
As we conclude,
Yeah, and it was saying, you see, in this age and era, most of us like have maybe, let's say, TikTok accounts. So you know, like your account creates for you an FYP, the algorithm, what you want to, what you are watching. So you're going to find, mi niko na yangu, ako na yake, uko na yako. So ladies tuko na yetu. Tunaambiwa men are toxic, blah 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 blah. Now men na wao wako na inaambia women are toxic. So which common stand are we going to take? Because now it is like we are at a war between us and between them. Then I could also like to ask about in toxicity. There's also like manipulation that can happen maybe in a relationship. Can we like talk about it kidogo? Because I feel it's also something heavy that occurs. Yeah.
Because I'm manipulating him for resources, he's manipulating me to get
manipulation na gaslighting zinaendana pamoja.
Hand in hand.
So nishaona mahali madam amefanyiwa, yani yeye ndo ako on the receiving end, so mwanaume ndo amefanya makosa, but at the end yeye ndo anasema I'm sorry, alafu mwanaume ako na nguvu pia kusema I forgive you.
Yeah.
Hey! Anyway, we might have to extend this conversation at another date. Kindly, Mr. Director, umesikia hii please. Clearly, it's quite heavy. We have tried our best to take out as huge as chunks as we can, but kuna zingine zimebaki and they need to be addressed. So utatupanga, si ndio? Now, in conclusion, where can we find you in social media, on social media again?
Okay. Instagram, I am Jane Dongo. LinkedIn, Jane Dongo. Yeah, I don't have Facebook.
Already corporate baddie, LinkedIn. All right. And you, yourself, Ru?
At Instagram, I'm Mora. And I don't use Facebook too.
Hey, FB ni ya wazee.
FB ni ya wazee Romeni, and at LinkedIn I'm Ruth Mora.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much, ladies, for coming. I'm really, really in appreciation of what you've brought to the table. What can you bring to the table? They have brought facts, receipts. I have learned you work in a hospital setup. You're telling us your experience. We are much to learn files. Thank you so very much for coming and putting your 2 cents into this. I really hope that we can extend. I'm asking again, and do what was getting Lisa. But in other news, we must finish. All good things also must come to an end. So why in the morning? Unfortunately, today is over, but you can catch us tomorrow and the day after that, because we're a daily show Monday all the way through Friday. But in case you need to find us or interact with us at Y254 on Facebook and all other social media platforms. My name is Valentine, or at Kalamival. I've been with Kasha Maingi or Grace Maingi, and we wish you a wonderful day. I'll see you when I see you.